All right, guys, so take a look in the pool. That's the Wybot B1. And I got to say, for this being a value type of cleaner, look at how fast it moves. This is one of the fastest moving cleaners I've seen in a long time. I mean, this thing's small, but it's mighty. So this right here is the Wybot B1. This is designed for small pools. Yes, if you've got an above ground pool or you just generally have a smaller pool, the Wybot B1 might be the perfect cleaner for you. Now, first thing you'll notice about this is how small this is. Look at how tiny it is. It comes in at only 14 pounds. This is one of the lightest weight cleaners I've used this year. But don't let that fool you. Just because of how small it is mighty. Yes, this thing moves very fast. It has a lot of power in it, and it just surprises you in general. If I set this right down here and I kind of come up close to it, I might look like a giant because of how small this really is. Now, the Wybot B1 here is what I classify as a value type of cleaner. A cleaner that's under the $400 mark with features that are necessary for a robotic pool cleaner. Where this stands out is the fact that it's designed specifically for smaller pools or above ground pools. You see, all these other cleaners on the market that are more expensive generally are designed for bigger in-ground pools. You'll need extra features to clean those bigger in-ground pools. However, there isn't a cleaner that's specifically designed with extra features like wall climbing for smaller in-ground pools or for above ground pools. That is until the Wybot B1. It's not to say that you can't use the B1 in bigger pools, medium to big size pools. It's just that the battery on this will not run nearly as long. In terms of battery, this only has a battery size of about 2600 milliamps. So it's a small battery. But from that 2600 milliamps, you will get a maximum runtime of 120 minutes or 2 hours. And I gotta say, even though it's only 2 hours, when you see this thing moving in the pool, it zooms. It moves, and it moves fast. One of the fastest moving cleaners that I've used to date. And that obviously is because of the size of this here. It's easier to move a smaller cleaner. So although you can use this in medium and large size pools, it's more designed for smaller pools in general. So just keep that in mind. Now, out of the box, when you first take this out, you will notice that it is a value cleaner. It's not going to feel like a high-end premium brand or anything like that. You'll go ahead and flip this around, and another thing you'll notice is that it's got these little front brushes right here on the side, on both sides. You see that? And these are designed to basically scrub the edge of the floor closest to the wall. Yes, as it's moving along the floors of your wall, the edges, this will scrub the sides of that. It particularly helps out in corners of your pool. So that's really neat. I've never really seen a front side brush before. Seems like a little extra feature for a value type of cleaner. Now, one thing I really do want to point out is how small this really is. It is very small. You can see I can just pretty much handle it with one arm over here. This is a 14-pound cleaner here, and it makes it so much easier to manage. Doesn't matter if you're the strongest person in the world or not, a smaller cleaner, a lighter cleaner in general, I should say, is much easier to manage to take in and out of the pool. Again, this is designed for smaller pools or above ground pools, so making a smaller design pool cleaner makes sense. Now let's talk about the debris basket here. I'll open this up here to show you the little debris basket here. And when I say little, this is little. This right here is a 2-liter debris basket here. Yes, open this up and show you how small it is. It is a 180 micron filter, meaning it'll capture your small, medium, and large size debris. Unfortunately, on this model, there is no ultra fine filter. So if you have smaller debris, dust, sand, dirt, a lot of it, algae, cloudy, milky water in the pool, you need an ultra fine filter. And this little filter right here, this is not an ultra fine filter. So keep that in mind. If you need it, this is not the way to go. Now, the reason why this is so small is obviously because of how small the cleaner really is. You can pretty much see that it fits nice and snug inside of this small cleaner. Having this run for 2 hours is generally a good size for a 2-liter basket, 1 liter per hour. Now, I do love how small this is, but one thing I do not love about this is this right here. This is the power button to turn the cleaner on. I'll push this to turn it on. When you turn this on, there's this little light indicator right here that turns on that you may or may not be able to see right now. You'll notice that there are no icons here. There are no words at all. Basically, when you turn this on, you have no idea what mode you're using this on. You have to go and use the online app. For this being a basic cleaner, one of the biggest downsides to this B1 is the fact that you have to download the smart app, you have to connect it to the smart app, and that's the only real way you'll be able to see the cleaning mode that you're on and select that mode. When you're looking at this right here and you're pushing this power button, you'll hear sounds, yes, but it does not tell you what mode you're using it on. I really got to say that this user interface, this physical control panel here, is probably the worst control panel I've ever used. I'd rather just use a control panel that has an on and off switch. But this right here, this light, makes no sense at all. You have to use the online app to get access to your modes. So if you're the type of pool owner that doesn't like using smart apps, if you just want a cleaner to push the power button, turn on, and to use it, this is not the way to go. It will be confusing for you. You want to pick up a different cleaner. Yes, unfortunately, you have to use the smart app to get a clear understanding of which mode you're on. So when you use that smart app, you'll have access to those cleaning modes and you'll know exactly which mode you're on. There are 6 different modes that you can choose from, anywhere from your basic floor cleaning to your walls and waterline cleaning. They even have a little quick mode that you can turn on quickly to just run for about 50 minutes to clean your pool. Lots of little modes there for you to choose from. However, there is one mode that this cleaner does not have, and I do want to point that out. This cleaner right here, the B1, does not have a weekly timer mode. No, because of the size of this, because of the fact that it's used to clean smaller pools, there isn't a built-in timer mode, meaning you can't fully charge this, you can't set it to turn on 1-2 days a week. What you have to do is you have to charge this every single time you want to use it, and to run it and then take it out and to charge it again for the next use. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a cleaner with a weekly timer function, this one, the B1 here, does not have that. So let's go ahead and place this little B1 into the pool. I'm just going to throw it back here. No, I'm not. But I can because it's so lightweight. Anyways, let me go ahead and place this cleaner into the pool and I'll show you how well it works. Okay guys, so let's place the Wybot B1 into the pool. I have it turned on right now, and remember, it's very hard to use the manual button, so on the app you'll set your mode. I have it set on the app on floor mode, so I'll go ahead and just toss this inside the pool here. It'll sink down and turn on and focus on the floor of the pool. Okay guys, so the Wybot B1 is on right now. So let's watch it as it moves along the floor. In this mode, it's not going to climb up the walls. You can see right there, it kind of just went over my main drain. But let's watch this as it moves along the floors of the pool. And what's really neat about this is how fast it moves. You see this? It moves pretty fast for it being so small. And again, it doesn't climb up walls in this mode. Remember, I have this only on floor mode. Now, here's a look of it going more directly on the main drain right there. Goes right over it. Kind of zooms on it, which is impressive for it being such a small cleaner. It doesn't get stuck on the main drain. Now, when it gets close to the wall right here, I want to point out, if you take a look right in the front, those little side brushes, you see how they're kind of spinning against the wall? They do help in pretty much brushing debris, brushing the sides of, you see that? The corners of the wall here along the floor. So it just doesn't look weird. There's a purpose for them. Now, one thing I do want to mention about this cleaner is when you pull out of the pool, make sure you turn it off, because if you don't, watch what happens. It's pretty much going to run away from you. So keep that in mind. When you pull it off, you do want to turn the cleaner off. It doesn't have a sensor for some reason, maybe because it is a value cleaner when you pull it out. So you want to shut it off or it will be running away from you. Alright guys, so the B1 is on wall mode now. So in this mode, it focuses on the walls and waterline of the pool. But in addition to that, you see this is my tanning ledge right here. It's a 4-foot straight ledge going straight up. The B1 right here is able to pretty much climb up this wall. You see that? Goes all the way up the ledge here onto my actual ledge. And this is my water line right here. See right there? It even makes it up to my water line. That's pretty neat. For this being a value type of cleaner, it's still able to make it up to my water line right there. Okay guys, so now you can see that it's actually on my tanning ledge here. So for this being a sort of value cleaner, a very inexpensive value cleaner, how small it is, the ability that it has to climb up here is pretty impressive. So if you've got a little ledge here, it's not going to do a great job at cleaning certain areas. It doesn't have targeted ledge cleaning, but it is able to reach the wall up here, so that's a good thing. Okay guys, so the B1 is now on wall mode, and right here you can kind of see it move from one wall to the next wall. It's climbing straight up here. It's 5-foot tall walls right here, and it hits the water line, scrubs the water line, goes back down, and you kind of see the pattern it makes from walls. It'll turn and kind of go backwards in an N down a little, so it moves along the wall, and that's how it also transitions from this wall over to this wall. It skips this kind of corner here. A lot of these cleaners will skip the corner. There's very few that will clean the corner, but that's how it transitions, and that's how it moves from wall to wall. An N-like pattern. Now it's just going to go straight up to the area next to it right there. Scrub it and then go down a little and then curve again. Remember, it does that N pattern. Stop, curve a little bit, go backwards, and then repeat that N pattern as it moves up the wall. All right, guys. So I'm going to take this out of the pool. I'm going to turn it off because remember, it does run. Place this right down here. Let's take a look at the debris basket. It is a small debris basket, but let's take a look at what's inside. I'll open this up here and pour this out here. And look at all that debris inside. Wow. Picked up quite a bit of different size debris. You can see smaller debris along the basket here. Awesome. So you guys can see how the Wybot B1 acts in my pool back here. If you're in the market for a robotic pool cleaner and you've got a smaller pool, maybe you've got an above ground pool and you don't want to spend too much, you don't necessarily need those fancy robotic pool cleaners that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars with all those fancy features. This Wybot B1 is designed just for that reason. And don't let the size fool you. It may be small, but it is mighty. In that sense, the Wybot B1 here is definitely a robotic pool cleaner here. I recommend.
We hope this review helps.